Good morning all. Welcome to today's class on functional analysis. Today we discuss a lemma. Let X be a normed space and Y be a subspace of X. For X in X, Y in Y and K in K, we have norm of Kx plus Y greater than or equal to modulus of K into distance between X and Y. Let Y be a finite dimensional space, then Y is complete. In particular, Y is closed in X. And let y1, y2, etc. yn be a basis for y and xn be a sequence in y if xn is equal to kn1 y1 etc. plus etc. plus knm ym n equal to 1 to etc. Then xn converges to x equal to k1 y1 plus etc. plus km ym if and only if knj converges to kj as n tends to infinity for each j equal to 1 to etc. m. Also xn is bounded if and only if Knj is bounded for j is equal to 1 to etc. m. Now we prove the first part. So suppose that k equal to 0. Then norm of kx plus y equal to norm y, 0 plus y, so that is equal to norm y. And you know that this is greater than or equal to 0 and modulus of k times distance between x and y equal to 0 because k is 0. Therefore, this inequality holds in the case of k equal to 0. Norm of kx plus y is greater than or equal to, so that is y, norm y, that is greater than or equal to, this is 0. So that is modulus of k times distance between x and y. Now suppose that k is not equal to 0. Then norm of kx plus y, this is equal to k times norm of k times x plus y by k, and this is equal to norm of k times x minus y by k, and that is equal to modulus of k times norm of x minus y by k, and this is greater than or equal to modulus of k times distance between x and y. This is because suppose you are considering the space as R2 and you consider this as the subspace, the line passing through the origin as the subspace will pass through the origin. And if you consider this as your minus y by k, all these are examples from R2 with the Euclidean norm. You consider minus y by k here and you consider some x here. Then you know that distance between x and y. So the space is L, y is the space, the space y is L. So distance between x and y is this. So this is the distance between x and y. And you know that the vector, this vector is actually x minus y by k, that is that vector. So shift that vector to the origin, so you'll get this vector, and its norm is the distance from origin, so its norm is norm of x minus y by k. So this is the norm, and you know the distance from x to y by k is this distance, so that is the same as this distance, and we can see that norm of x minus yk is greater than the distance between x and y. Now we prove B. So we assume let y be finite dimensional, then we are going to prove that y is complete, and from that you will get it is closed in X. To prove the completeness of the finite dimensional space y, we use mathematical induction on the dimension of y. So we may write that to prove the completeness of a finite dimensional space y of X, we use mathematical induction on the dimension m of y. So you let m equal to 1, then y is spanned by a single element y. So y is equal to ky such that k belongs to k with y not equal to 0. So we are going to show that y is complete. So you let xn be a Cauchy sequence in y. Then since y is equal to ky such that k belongs to k, we have xn belongs to y implies xn is equal to kn into y for some kn belongs to k. Now we have modulus of kn minus kp times y is equal to xn minus xp. And since xn is a Cauchy sequence, so this implies kn is a Cauchy sequence in k. And we have k is complete, so this implies kn converges to some k in k since k is complete. Therefore xn converges to some ky because xn is equal to kny and xn converges to ky in y. That is, you have a Cauchy sequence in y and that converges in y. So this implies y is complete. Now we assume that every m-1 dimensional subspace of x is complete. So let y be an m-dimensional subspace of x. Let xn be a Cauchy sequence in y and y1, y2, etc. ym be a basis for y. So let Z be span of y2, y3, etc. ym. Then dimension of Z is m-1. Therefore it is complete by induction hypothesis. We have xn belongs to y since it is an element in the Cauchy sequence and y is spanned by y1, y2, etc. ym. Therefore xn is spanned by y1 and an element in z because z is spanned by y2, y3, etc. ym. So we can say that xn is equal to kn into y1 plus some zn, where kn belongs to k, zn belongs to z. Zn is actually spanned by y2, y3, etc. ym. You consider norm of xn minus xp. This is equal to norm of kn y1 plus zn minus kp y1 plus zp. So this is equal to kn minus kp into y1 plus zn minus zp. So we have zn and zp are elements in z, and by the part A of this lemma, this is greater than or equal to modulus of kn minus kp times distance between y1 and z. Remember, zn minus zp is an element in z. Since y1 does not belongs to z, we have distance between y1 and z is greater than 0 because z is the span of y2, y3, etc. ym. Therefore y1 is not in z. Therefore we have modulus of kn minus kp into distance between y and z. This is less than or equal to norm of xn minus xp. So this implies kn is a Cauchy sequence in k. And since k is complete, Kn converges to some k. Since k is complete, Kn converges to k in k. We have xn is equal to Kn y1 plus Zn. So this implies Zn equal to xn minus Kn y1. So you have xn is a Cauchy sequence, Kn is a Cauchy sequence, therefore Zn is a Cauchy sequence in Z. And since Z is an m minus 1 dimensional space and Zn is a Cauchy sequence in Z, we have Zn converges to Z in Z. Therefore, Zn equal to xn minus k y1 converges to Z. This is because since Zn converges to Z and Kn converges to k. And this implies xn converges to Z plus k y1. And you know Z is an element in y, y1 is an element in y, so this belongs to y. Therefore, xn converges in y. So you have a Cauchy sequence xn which converges in y. So this implies y is complete. And we have y is complete, y is finite dimensional, therefore y is closed in particular. For in particular, y is closed in X. Now we prove this. So first we prove, let x, y1, y2, etc. ym be a basis for y and xn be a sequence in y, and you let xn is equal to kn1 y1 plus etc. plus knm ym, n is equal to 1 to etc. Then we prove xn converges to x, that is equal to k1 y1 plus etc. km ym, if and only if knj converges to kj. So first we assume knj converges to kj and we prove that xn converges to x. So you let xn belongs to y and xn equal to kn1 y1 plus kn2 y2 plus etc. plus knm ym for n equal to 1, 2, etc. Suppose that knj converges to kj in k as n tends to infinity for j is equal to 1, 2, etc. m. Then you let x is equal to k1 y1 plus k2 y2 plus etc. plus km ym. Therefore, norm of xn minus x. We are going to prove that xn converges to x. So you consider norm of xn minus x. This is equal to norm of xn is kn1 y1 plus kn2 y2 knm ym minus k1 y1 plus k2 y2 plus etc. plus km ym. So this is equal to k n1 minus k1 into y1 plus k n2 minus k2 into y2 plus etc. plus k nm minus km into ym. By using triangle inequality, this is less than or equal to norm of kn1 minus k1 into y1 plus norm of kn2 minus k2 into y2 plus etc. plus norm of knm minus km into ym, and this is less than or equal to norm of modulus of kn1 minus k1 into norm y1 plus modulus of kn2 minus k2 into norm y2 plus etc. plus modulus of knm minus km into ym, norm ym. And we have knj tends to kj. So kn1 tends to k1, kn2 tends to k2, etc. So this tends to 0. Since knj tends to kj. Therefore, norm of xn minus x tends to 0. Therefore, xn converges to x. Conversely, we assume that xn converges to x equal to k1, y1, etc. km, ym. We prove knj converges to kj as n tends to infinity. So conversely, let xn converges to x, that is equal to k1, y1 plus k2, y2 plus etc. plus km, ym. Now you let yj, capital Yj, be the span of y1, y2, etc., yj minus 1, yj plus 1, etc., ym. That is, it is the span of all elements y1, y2, etc., ym except yj. Then you consider norm of xn minus x. This is equal to norm of kn1 x1 plus kn2 x2 plus etc. plus knm xm minus k1 x1 plus k2 x2 plus etc. plus km xm. Now consider norm of xn minus x. So that is equal to norm of kn1 y1 plus kn2 y2 plus etc. plus knm ym minus k1 y1 plus k2 y2 plus etc. plus km ym. So that is equal to norm of kn1 minus k1 y1 plus kn2 minus k2 y2 plus etc. plus knm minus km ym. And we have all the elements except knj minus kj yj belongs to yj. We have kni minus ki times yi belongs to yj for I not equal to j. We let kn1 minus k1 into y1 plus etc. plus knj minus 1 minus kj minus 1 into yj minus 1 plus next term is knj plus 1 minus kj plus 1 into yj plus 1 plus etc. plus knm minus km into ym. Let it be equal to some y star in yj. Y star in yj. Therefore, we can write this as xn minus x as norm of xn minus x as this is equal to all these terms except the jth term is y star. So this is equal to k n j minus kj times yj plus some y star, where y star belongs to yj. And by part A, this is greater than or equal to modulus of k and j minus kj times distance between yj and yj, capital Yj. And since yj does not belongs to yj, capital Yj, we have distance yj is greater than 0. Therefore, modulus of k and j minus kj into distance between yj and yj, this is less than or equal to norm xn minus x. This implies modulus of k and j minus kj is less than or equal to norm of xn minus x divided by distance between yj and yj. So this implies k and j minus kj tends to 0 because xn tends to x, because our assumption is that xn converges to x. So this implies k and j converges to kj as n tends to infinity for j is equal to 1, 2, etc. m. Finally, we prove that k and j is bounded if and only if x and j is bounded. Now for which, so let k and j is bounded for j equal to 1, 2, etc. m. That is, modulus of k and j is less than or equal to alpha j for all n equal to 1, 2, etc. We have xn is kn1 y1 plus kn2 y2 plus etc. plus knm ym. Therefore, norm of xn is less than or equal to modulus of kn1 into norm y1 plus modulus of kn2 into norm y2 plus etc. plus modulus of knm into norm ym. So this is less than by this. So you know k and j less than or equal to alpha j. So this is less than or equal to alpha 1 times norm y1 plus alpha 2 times norm y2 plus etc. plus alpha n times alpha m times norm ym for n equal to 1, 2, etc. m. So this implies xn is bounded since y is finite dimensional and y is closed. Now conversely, let xn be bounded for j is equal to 1, 2, etc. m. Let yj is the space spanned by y1, y2, etc. yj minus 1, yj plus 1, etc. ym. Then norm of xn is equal to norm of kn1 y1 plus etc. plus knm ym, that is equal to norm of kn1 y1 plus kn2 y2 plus etc. plus knj minus 1 yj minus 1 plus knj plus 1 yj plus 1 plus etc. plus knm ym plus kj yj. And you take these terms kn1 y1, so you let kn1 y1 plus kn2 y2 plus etc. plus knj minus 1 yj minus 1 plus knj plus 1 yj plus 1 plus etc. plus knm ym as some y star. This belongs to yj. So therefore norm of xn equal to y star plus kj yj. or that is equal to kj yj plus some y star, where this y star belongs to ij. So by greater than or equal to modulus of kj times distance between yj and y star. That is, we have norm of xn is greater than or equal to modulus of knj times distance between yj and yj, and we have yj does not belongs to yj, therefore distance between yj and yj is greater than 0. Therefore from that you will get modulus of k and j is less than or equal to norm of xn divided by distance between yj and yj. This is a positive quantity, so the modulus of k and j is less than a positive quantity, so that implies k and j is bounded for j is equal to 1, 2, etc. m. This proves the lemma.